We're back on the Talk with AVC. We still got Max in the booth, and we're going to just break down some of these last few free agents, and then we're going to just talk about the ridiculousness of athletes' contracts. So, just a few free agents here. Looking at this should be a good tight end market this offseason. So, let's give an ask. And this one pains me to ask, but Austin Hooper.
The Hoop. I think he's going to end up in Green Bay. And
I think it's a good fit.
It is. Jimmy Graham. I mean, he's been all right, but he hasn't been as productive as we've hoped.
He's not Jimmy Graham anymore.
No, he's old, and I don't know. With the past year or so, Green Bay's been way more active in free agency than we have been in the past 10 years. So I think we're gonna make a legit move for him.
And the familiarity. You got Matt LaFleur there, who coached Hooper in the past. You've also got the former. The Packers tight ends coach is a former offensive assistant coach in Atlanta. So it makes sense, and they have the money to pay him.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry.
You can never be too sure with Chargers players because it's such a terribly run organization, but he definitely is one of the top-tier young tight ends. I don't know how his whole knee injury – I don't know how other teams are going to take that when it comes to bringing him in, but
it might undersell his value. I almost think it would be better for him if he played under the franchise tag one more year in LA, stayed healthy, and was productive. Do you remember he was one of my favorite sleeper fantasy picks at tight end?
And he was good. He was
good. He was emerging as a solid guy, but you also have the question now with Rivers gone, quarterback situation, Tyrod Taylor, maybe a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, it could either go one or two ways. He could have a terrible season, or he could just be the safety net and have 1,000 catches.
Yeah, I mean, no more Antonio Gates stealing his catches anymore, so that'd be good for him. Let's stick with the Chargers here. Both their running backs, Melvin Gordon and Austin Ekeler.
Melvin Gordon's definitely gone. Austin Ekeler, they got super lucky. Yeah, they got super lucky with him. He came out of nowhere. I think that
he's faster than Danny Woodhead.
Yeah, I think they'll try to re-sign him. I think they're going to give him kind of a not so generous offer. But I think he'll stay.
I can't imagine running backs in free agency, even though Eckler's still young. Eckler's only 25 and Gordon's 26. I just can't see big money contracts being thrown out to these guys with this draft class.
Yeah, it's
maybe after like the initial draft, after the draft, maybe like the post-draft free agency signings. But let's just say hypothetically they both do leave and somebody wants to pay them. I think Eckler's perfect fit is Kansas City. I think you give Patrick Mahomes a receiving back.
Yeah.
I think that would be just such a perfect fit. And I've had friends say maybe Atlanta, and my response is with what cap room?
Yeah, you guys.
I mean, Devontae Freeman's gone, so he's going to be gone. He's not gone yet because they're going to wait till after the draft where they can release him for like $6 million. But
yeah, you guys
get their coach. He's not going to run the ball anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you broke the bank for the past few years with the whole Super Bowl run and everything, but now you're not going to have a running back.
No, the running backs are going to be Ito Smith, Brian Hill, and Quandre Olson.
Exactly.
We're looking like the Buccaneers.
Yeah. So a guy like Austin Ekeler maybe is a good fit for you where he knows he's not going to get top-tier running back money, but he'll go somewhere where he can prove himself for another 2-3 years, and maybe he will earn that, whether it's going to another team and getting it or staying there. But he has to have more than just one good year to get that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and with receiving backs, they compared to other running backs, they tend to have a longer lifespan.
Yeah, because it's not all just running between the tackles.
I mean, you look at guys like Rex Burkhead. How long has that dude been in the league?
Yeah.
Or like James White is now like 28.
Yeah.
You normally see running backs be phased out at that point, but when you have that receiving element, you stay a little longer. As far as I can think of, that's pretty much the majority of the crop of free agents. There's a few guys I know from there's a couple guys from the Rams. You got Corey Littleton, middle linebacker, and Dante Fowler, edge rusher, who kind of had a breakout season, showed that potential from Florida. That may be why he was a 4th overall pick.
Yeah. Corey Littleton's another guy that will probably end up in Green Bay, actually.
Replacing Blake Martinez?
Yeah, because Blake Martinez is going to want, like, number 1 in the league linebacker money, and I don't think we're willing to give it to him.
I get why he wants that, but to be honest, he almost seems like I think he'll go to like Carolina or something. But I have a taste for disliking him mostly because I feel like he's slow.
He is slow, and like he's in the past 3 years he's led the NFL in tackles. But like, don't get me wrong, that's a great thing to have on your team. But that's all he does. Like he's a little bit of a one-dimensional.
It's a little bit of an overrated stat. He's kind of a run stopper, middle linebacker.
Yeah, and the league you need,
which I feel like helps the Packers, helps the stats with the Packers because, to be honest, the Packers don't have a great D-line in terms of stopping the run. They have a good edge, they have a good pass rushing D-line, but
exactly he gets so many tackles because our D-line doesn't do their job.
Yeah,
and
I feel like tackles. I feel like can be an overrated stat.
Yeah,
it's really a relevant stat depending on what team you're on.
Yeah, you can finish a game with 10 tackles and not have any the next game.
Yeah. So Dante Fowler. He's the one guy I could see Atlanta signing in free agency. I don't see them signing many people, but I could see him just because Vic Beasley's gone. Tack McKinley's going to be gone. So you're probably going to take an edge rusher in the draft, but you're going to need another one. And I feel like if you take a Dante Fowler, you take a lot of pressure off whoever that rookie is.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I don't know
how much they could really pay, but I feel like maybe if they maybe Matt Ryan takes a little bit of a reduced pay, or if they move some of the bigger contracts into signing bonuses.
Yeah, you definitely
out of pocket. You'd have to finagle it, but I think you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's, just like any player, there's places where he's interested in going, so maybe he would be willing to take a little bit of a decrease in pay. But I don't know. He seems like a hungry dude. I think he wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to win a Super Bowl.
I agree.
Like I don't know how much money the Chiefs have, but
he'd be a good fit there. Yeah, with Terrell Suggs probably leaving, he'd be a perfect fit. All right, now let's just talk about this because news has been spiraling about this recently with Tony Romo re-signing with CBS, the biggest signing of the offseason, for $17 million a season as a commentator on CBS to call 2 games a week. And maybe the Super Bowl if it's on CBS.
I mean, first of all, good for him.
Good for him. I'm not going to try to bash him because that's the profession I'm hoping to go into. So keep raising the salary. I love you, man.
But he's making more than he ever did as a player.
Yeah.
And there's been some players who've come out and said their opinion about it. But
Michael Thomas, chief among them.
And you understand their frustration. Like, why is he getting paid more than us when he's just sitting up calling the game and we're breaking our bodies for it? But he's getting paid by CBS.
He's not getting paid by the NFL. Yes, he's being paid because of the NFL, because the NFL happens.
Yeah.
But it's a TV network that's paying him. That's like the cop saying, "Why does the lawyer get paid more money than me?"
Yeah, and what people are forgetting also is he also calls golf. And golf, it sounds stupid, but there's so much money in the sport of golf.
There really is, and people don't realize how much time and money goes into that. CBS is one of the bigger. CBS and NBC are the big networks that cover golf.
Yeah, so that $17 million isn't just coming from calling football. He's also
calling golf.
Yeah,
it's a CBS contract, not in watching NFL games contract. I mean, this is what I never understood. Look at Joe Buck. Joe Buck gets paid like $11.5 million a year, and nobody says anything.
Yeah,
I mean, and he's the most boring commentator in the history of football.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because he's been around for so long, or it's just the fact that
he covers baseball and he covers football, but he tends to be a better baseball commentator.
Yeah.
But in football, he's just so boring.
Yeah, you can tell he's not into it like baseball.
Yeah, I feel like he's always just a bit more into baseball, but commentators in general, and now Monday Night Football, and this is really where this came from. Monday Night Football, ESPN basically wanted Romo, and they were going to pay about $15 million for him. So CBS said, okay, we'll pay $17 million, and Monday Night Football back down. So now they're looking for a new anchor because Booger McFarland and I forget who the other broadcaster was. Was it Jason Witten this year? No, he was on the field. I forget who the other broadcaster was for Monday Night Football. But basically, they're looking at completely redoing their staff. Apparently, they're reaching out to Peyton Manning.
That would be great. Peyton Manning's a character.
Peyton Manning is a character, and he has the IQ for it. Honestly, before he signed with the Seahawks, I was looking at Greg Olson. Because I don't know if you've seen him on the XFL at all. He's one of the main XFL commentators. He's a pretty good commentator.
Yeah,
he's got a natural skill for it.
Yeah, and I do like what those major stations are doing now with bringing former players into the booth.
Yeah,
because I think it does. I think the fans appreciate it a lot more. Like I know I do as a fan when I'm watching football. I like knowing, okay, the dude who's calling the game, like he was there. He knows exactly what he's talking about. Like it's a different level of appreciation.
And it's even funny is the fact that you don't need it to be a star player.
No.
Because you look at like ESPN, Dan Orlovsky is now on First Take.
Yeah.
He was a backup quarterback for 13 years, but he's probably got a lot of knowledge.
Exactly. Like if you're in the league for that long, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't think Monday Night Football ever really recovered from Gruden going back to the Raiders. Because Monday Night Football used to be my favorite broadcast to watch, specifically because of John Gruden.
Yeah. He was a legend.
He was a very interesting character,
a
very good commentator. And I really think Monday Night Football misses him, and they're going to try. They've been desperately trying to replace him.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like the whole Peyton Manning thing. Like they're just trying to find someone with some of that energy, like because I don't know, like a big part of a football's an entertainment thing. You know what I mean? And John Gruden is good at entertaining.
If the broadcast is boring, it's going to make everything around it more boring. Especially when you're watching the game on TV. No matter what sport it is, everything starts with the commentary.
Yeah.
If the commentary is boring, you're going to be bored watching the game.
Yeah. I would say Terry Bradshaw, but he's old and crazy. So
I would love to see Gronk on Monday Night Football. I think that would be the greatest thing in the history of broadcasting.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening.
No.
I think maybe test him out on Thursday Night Football, see how that goes.
Throw him in the XFL first.
I think he'd be great as an XFL commentator. I think that'd be perfect for him.
Yeah.
So we just got we got about 2 minutes left here. Just one final question. Are quarterbacks overpaid?
Yes. Because, they're the center of your whole team, but you're paying them $40 million a year now. And meanwhile, it could be the next best player on your team could be getting paid like 10.
I almost think that, and you look back, who's the last quarterback who got the big contract and then won the Super Bowl?
Pat Mahomes?
Nope, he's still on the rookie deal. The last one was, it was either Peyton Manning in 2016, if he was still on his big contract, which I think he was. I think he was the last one. But besides that, it was like 2006 or something.
Yeah. But real quick about that whole Peyton Manning thing, like that just proves that year proved when they won the Super Bowl in Denver, you don't need a great quarterback
to win a Super Bowl.
He was terrible in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. But
they
just
starting Brock Osweiler.
Exactly. They just had such a good team around him where all he had to do was not lose the game for them.
And that's where, the game manager quarterback comes in. You don't need the superstar quarterback if you have the good roster around.
Exactly. Like, build your roster, use the money, spread it around equally, and then just have a game manager.
I don't see what's so hard about that, but people look for the face of the franchise. All right, well, guys, that is going to do it as we are here at 10 o'clock. Thank you all very much for watching. Max, as always, thank you so much for joining in.
Thanks for having me, bud. It's a good time.
Man, good luck in D.C.
I will do my best. Thank you.
All right, and I guess contact him if you're interested in the Marines.
Yeah. Word.
All right, so of course, and I know I didn't get the XFL this week. I will go back more into it next week. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next Monday at 9.